I never believed in anything supernatural. No ghosts, demons, nothing. I've always needed things to be logical, measurable, explainable, and maybe that's why it chose me. Because I'd never believe it, not until it was too late. Let me say this up front. I don't know what it was. I don't even know if it was real, or if something broke in me out there in the woods. But I saw it, and it smiled first. That's what matters. That smile didn't belong to anything human. This started 6 months ago. I'd been planning a solo hiking trip for a while. Needed to unplug from everything. My job was melting my brain. I had just ended a 5-year relationship, and I was tired of everything. So I drove out to a remote part of the Appalachian Trail, just a few hours from where I live in West Virginia. I'd mapped a 3-day route. Nothing extreme. I packed smart. I checked in with the ranger station. I brought a satellite phone, flare, all of it. I wasn't careless. It was supposed to be peaceful, and the first day was. Until dusk. It was around 7:30 p.m. The sky had started to dim, that soft blue that leaks into purple before total dark. I was setting up my tent beside a shallow creek when I heard a sound behind me. A crack of branches, maybe 20 feet away. I turned fast. Nothing. But I had that feeling, like someone had just ducked out of view. You know the one. That weird pull between your shoulder blades. I shook it off. Probably a deer. Then, about 30 minutes later, I was inside my tent, reading with my flashlight, when I heard a second sound, much closer. A soft laugh. Not loud, just wrong. It sounded like someone trying to imitate laughter, like a cough twisted into a chuckle. I stepped out of the tent, scanning with the light. Nothing moved, just the trees, twitching in the breeze. Then my light caught something, just for a second. Eyes. Not glowing, not red, just watching. And then, the worst part. It smiled. I know what you're thinking. Maybe it was an animal, maybe a person, a reflection. But I need you to understand something. It wasn't just the smile that scared me. It was the timing. I didn't do anything. I didn't smile. It smiled first, like it was happy to see me, like it already knew me. And then, in a blink, it was gone. I didn't sleep. At first light, I broke camp and hiked 6 miles deeper, faster than I should have. I told myself I imagined it. I even laughed about it by lunch. By evening, I was exhausted. I set up camp near a cliffside clearing with a wide view. No trees close, nothing to hide behind. I was eating a protein bar when I saw it again, at the tree line about 100 feet away. It hadn't followed me. It had waited for me to come back. Same shape, same pale skin, same crooked posture. I stood up, and it tilted its head, smiling, no movement, no approach, just that silent, wide, knowing smile. I screamed. I threw a rock. It didn't move. I blinked. It was gone again. That night, I heard it speaking. At first, I thought it was a radio, a man's voice, calm, familiar. It said my name, just once. Derek. I froze inside the tent. How did it know my name? I turned on the flashlight, opened the tent slowly. Nothing. Then I heard it again, from a different direction. Derek. Longer, mocking. The same way a friend might joke around, like it was trying to sound like someone I knew. At dawn, I started heading back. No more hiking, no more camping. I was done. But the trail, it didn't look right. Markers were gone. The landscape felt off. I checked my compass and maps. Still headed west. Still correct. But it felt like I was walking in circles. And then I saw it. A torn protein bar wrapper. The one I dropped last night. There was no doubt. I had walked a full day in the right direction and somehow ended up back at the second camp. That night, I didn't set up the tent. I climbed a tree, tied myself in with rope, and waited. I stayed awake the whole time. Around 2 a.m., I saw something approach my abandoned tent. It moved like me. Same gait, same height. It even wore my shirt, the one I'd left behind after sweating through it. But when it looked up at me, its face was too smooth, like clay before it's shaped. Then it grinned, too wide, like it had too many teeth. And I smiled back. Except, I didn't. At sunrise, I ran. No gear, no supplies, just the flare and satellite phone. The phone had no signal. The flare, I saved. I ran until my legs buckled. I followed the creek for hours. Then I heard something new. Footsteps behind me. I refused to look. They matched my pace exactly. When I stopped, they stopped. I turned around once. Nothing. I kept walking. It followed. Just out of sight. Just out of reach. Eventually, I reached a ranger outpost. Collapsed on the porch. They found me 2 hours later. Dehydrated, half-conscious, mumbling nonsense.